This is life management. So fundamentally, the secret to living life to its fullest is about management. Chew on that for a second. The secret to living life to its fullest is about management. Managing your body and mind in coordination and conflict with the various challenges and happenings that we interface with in life. This is why I created the interface response system. This is the most fascinating thing to me in my life, is this concept of managing and interfacing with things and recognizing that which we control and that which we don't control. What we control is our perception. We can control our perception. We can rewire that. And we also control how we respond to things. So Rosa says, finding heaven before we die. Yeah, living in the moment. Yes. Amen to that. You ever think about what amen means? It's interesting, right? People say amen, which is another way of saying that's right, or uh-huh. It's interesting. It's an interesting word. So let me read that again. Managing your body and your mind in coordination and conflict with the various changes and challenges and happenings that we interface with in life. If you were to look at your life since you were 5 years old and draw a line in a graph that measured how happy you are until this day. So if you were to draw a line from 5 till today, and you drew a line, and the spikes would represent your happiness, right? What would that look like? Does that line go up or down? And at what times do you perceive that it went down because that kind of shows you how you're managing your life, right? The question is can you be happy all the time? Well, it depends on what you define happy as. And it also depends on whether or not you think that you can only be happy during certain times, or can you see the sunshine in everything? I have a Facebook group that focuses on personal growth quotes, and that is called The Bright Side. And that is what it's all about. It's finding the bright side. Bruh, none one, listening, you and the live. Don't know what that means. It's Abdullah, aka Pooh. Don't know what that means. Bruh, none one, listening to you and the live. I don't know if he's asking me if he's listening for when I end the live. So anyway, this observation is connected to your inability to manage thoughts like, things like thoughts, feelings, and emotions, stress, and adversity. That's what happens is you start to recognize that at times you have emotional mismanagement, right? It's all about your inability to manage things like thoughts, feelings, emotions, stress, and adversity. That's all you can. If you work on that stuff and become unfuckwithable, you're going to have an amazing life. So all things that you don't control, those things. So things that happen anyway, we talk a lot about that. There's a lot of things that you have no control over, which means they happen no matter what. So it's just about flipping a switch from participating with them and taking them on as real and observing them, right? So let's get into that. So managing them, these things that are out of your control, is about putting their uncontrollable nature into perspective. Remember I said you can change your perspective. So let's change our perspective. How do you do this? By flipping a switch to that of the observer rather than the participant. Now, it's important, I think, to participate in life. But what I'm talking about is acknowledging the things that you don't control, right? This is about managing your life. Acknowledging the things that you don't control and just flipping a switch to being in observation of them rather than participating with them. So if you're participating with them, you're identifying yourself with them. So they're happening without you. So recognizing them in observation is fine, right? It's okay if something's happening, you can recognize it, but recognize that they are not you and you are not them. So managing these things is a shift in your perspective. The first phase of the interface response system is grabbing control of your perspective. Okay, so it's about a shift in your perspective of how important they are. There it is. We talked about emotional importance yesterday, and we just recognized that we put a little bit too much importance on our thoughts, feelings, and actions, and we make them too relevant in opposition of or in connection with our reality. So it's kind of funny if you think. But when you find yourself to whatever degree off track in life, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think you could ever be on track in life unless you knew what it was like to be off track. So whenever I get off track in life, I just say, oh man, that's right. On track is so cool. So that's a Buddhist thing. So, but when you find yourself to whatever degree off track or below the line of responsibility, or maybe even you'd call it unhinged, this is a management problem. That's what it is. So you should awaken that observation that we're talking about, flip that switch, awaken the observation and say something like this to yourself. Excuse me, can I please talk to the manager like you would in a restaurant? Make sense? Well, I hope and pray that anything that I say blesses you to have a better day. That's all I really care about. It's what makes me feel better is when I do something and play a role in somebody else having a better day. And that could be just a flip of the switch of consciousness and awareness. So follow us at the Rise Up with Dragon podcast on all platforms. That's where you'll get the edited, like sub 5-minute version of this episode. riseupwithdragon.com. You can sign up for our newsletter, as well as some fun giveaways. There's going to be a members area, a free members area and a paid members area coming up. But the free area is going to be really, really cool. Kathy says, I feel blessed by your wisdom. Wow. That makes me feel good. Did you just say that to make me feel good, or do you feel blessed? And then also join the Rise Up with Dragon Facebook community, Rise Up with Dragon, everything, and Instagram. Love and appreciate you all. Have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow at 8.